Okay, so you decided to become a pirate. Bold choice. Questionable life decision, but respect. You've got your hat, your parrot, your weird accent that sounds like you're gargling seawater. And now you're thinking, what's the worst that could happen? Oh, buddy. Oh, sweet summer buccaneer. Pull up a plank. Sit down. Because from the 1600s to the 1800s, if you got caught pirating on the high seas, the legal system had a very creative list of ways to ruin your entire day. Permanently. We're talking drowning, hanging, being dissolved in tar, and one punishment so humiliating that men begged for execution instead. This is every pirate punishment explained. Let's go. First things first, you have to actually get caught. And honestly, most pirates were kind of bad at not getting caught. Piracy was declared an international crime under the doctrine of hostis humani generis, which is Latin for enemy of all mankind. Not enemy of Britain, not enemy of Spain, enemy of all mankind. The whole planet hated you. Congratulations. This meant any nation's navy could arrest, try, and execute you, no matter where you were from. You were basically on a permanent global do-not-fly list, except the punishment for flying was death. Once captured, pirates were tried in admiralty courts, special naval courts that had zero jury of your peers, because your peers were also pirates and also wanted. Conviction rate? Nearly 100%. The judge would put on a little black cap, historically called the black cap, which was the signal that said, I am about to ruin your life with my mouth. And then it began. Ah, yes. The classic. The greatest hit. The pumpkin spice latte of pirate punishments. Hanging. Now, you might think hanging is simple. Rope, neck, done. But oh no, the 17th century had layers. The most famous execution site in England was Execution Dock in Wapping, London. And this place had a rule. The gallows were built below the high tide mark of the Pens. Why? Because maritime law, crimes at sea, punishments at sea. So technically, you died in the sea's jurisdiction. Bureaucratic murder, very thorough. But here's the fun part. They used a short rope. Modern hangings use a long drop. Quick, clean, instant. But at Execution Dock, short rope. That means no neck snap. That means you're just dangling and slowly suffocating for up to an hour. The crowd would pull on your legs to help, and they meant it kindly, which somehow makes it worse. Real example, Captain William Kidd. Yes, the Captain Kidd was hanged at Execution Dock in 1701. First attempt, the rope broke. They tried again. Second time worked. And then, because one death wasn't enough, after hanging came gibbeting. And this is where things get deeply unhinged. The body, your body, would be coated in tar to preserve it, then locked inside an iron cage shaped like a human and hung up at the harbor entrance. 4 years! Why? As a message to every sailor, every merchant, every pirate sailing past, this is what awaits you. It's basically a billboard, a rotting, creaking, seagull-attacked billboard. Captain Kidd's tarred body hung at Tilbury Point for 3 years. 3 years? His corpse had more job security than most people. Famous pirate William Fly, executed in 1726, was gibbeted at the entrance to Boston Harbor. They wanted every incoming ship to see him. The Puritans really committed to a bit. Not every offense got you killed immediately. Sometimes they wanted to hurt you first, extensively. Flogging was the appetizer. You'd be tied to the mast and whipped, usually with a cat-o'-nine-tails. Which sounds like a cute cat toy, and is absolutely not a cute cat toy. It was 9 knotted leather cords attached to a handle. Each lash left 9 separate marks. 40 lashes could kill a man. The Royal Navy officially limited it to 12, then just gave it multiple times. Totally fine. Very reasonable. Moving on. Now, keelhauling. This is Dutch in origin, keelhauling, and it is genuinely one of the most deranged punishments ever conceived by people who claim to be civilized. You were tied to a rope that went under the ship, then thrown overboard, then dragged under the keel, the bottom, from one side to the other. The barnacles on the hull would shred your skin. If you survived the tearing, you might drown. If you survived drowning, you'd surface looking like you'd lost an argument with a cheese grater. It was rarely used as an official punishment, but pirates used it on their prisoners all the time, because pirates had no HR department.
Ah, now this one. People think marooning sounds almost nice compared to the others. Being marooned meant being left on a deserted island or sandbar, usually with one pistol, one shot of powder, and nothing else. The pistol was for you.
If you wanted it, it wasn't mercy, it was delayed execution with extra suffering. Blackbeard, Edward Teach, the most theatrical pirate in history, marooned his own crew on a sandbar when he needed to reduce shares of plunder. He stranded 17 men, then sailed away, then came back later like nothing happened. That is not a captain. That is a chaos demon in a hat. Real historical note, the word marooned actually comes from the Spanish word cimarron, meaning wild or one kingdom. Untamed. It was also used to describe escaped enslaved people who fled to the wilderness. The overlap in terminology tells you a lot about how colonial powers viewed human beings they couldn't control. Here's a twist. Pirates punished each other too, internally. Most pirate crews operated under Articles of Agreement, a written code of conduct. You signed before you sailed. You broke it, you faced the crew. Bartholomew Black Bart. Roberts, the most successful pirate in history, capturing over 400 ships, had articles that included no gambling on board, lights out by 8 p.m. Yes, really. No women allowed. If you steal from a crewmate, you get marooned or your ears cut off. Cowardice in battle? Moses' law, 40 stripes on the bare back. These men were looting merchant vessels, but had a bedtime. The punishment for stealing from your fellow pirate was often worse than what nations did to enemy pirates. There is something almost beautiful about that. Almost. Now, here's the thing the movies never tell you. There was a way out. Multiple times throughout the golden age of piracy, roughly 1750 to 1730, the British Crown issued what were called Acts of Grace, basically royal pardons for pirates who turned themselves in. The most famous, 1718, issued by King George I. Governor Woodus Rogers of Nassau, yes, the one from the show Black Sails, offered every pirate in the Bahamas a full pardon if they surrendered. Hundreds of pirates took it. Then, many of them went right back to pirating within months. Including Charles Vane, who refused entirely, sailed out of Nassau, fired a broadside at Rogers' ship as he left, and basically said, "Keep your pardon, I'm busy." He was eventually caught, tried, and hanged. The pardon was right there, Charles. Okay, we saved something special. Peine forte and dure. French for hard and forceful punishment. English translation, being slowly crushed to death by rocks. This wasn't exclusively for pirates. It was used on anyone who refused to enter a plea in court. And some pirates, knowing they'd be convicted anyway, refused to plead specifically to deny the court the satisfaction. The prisoner would be laid on the ground, a board placed on top, and stones added one by one. They'd be offered bread and water and asked to enter a plea. Each day, more stones. The record holder, Giles Corey of Salem witch trial fame, lasted 2 days under the stones. His last words were reportedly, "More weight." Not a pirate, but showing the punishment was so brutal, even civilians used it as defiance. Some pirates genuinely chose this over trial because property could only be seized after a conviction. By refusing to plea, they protected their family's inheritance. Dying under rocks to protect your kids' money. That's a different kind of pirate code. So, let's recap what we've learned today. If you were a pirate in the 1600s to 1700s, you could expect hanging if you were lucky and they aimed well, gibbeting if they wanted to reuse your body as a warning sign, keelhauling if someone was creative and petty, marooning if they wanted you to suffer with options, flogging, basically, the participation trophy of punishments, being crushed by rocks if you decided to be really difficult. If you want more unhinged historical content delivered at a pace that respects your attention span, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment telling me which punishment you think is the most deranged. My vote, gibbeting. 3 years, man.
3 years. I'll see you in the next one. Stay legal, people. Mostly.